This is Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance in the San Fernando Valley. Today we are joined by Dr. Christopher Villa. He is a vice president at LA Mission College, one of the 9 community colleges in the Los Angeles Community College District, which no doubt is celebrating.
Oh, yeah.
Over how many months? 3-4 months ago, Vice President Biden's wife came out.
That is true.
Mayor Garcetti of Los Angeles.
Yes.
A whole panoply of people came out to celebrate the launch of the LA College Promise.
That's true.
Tell us about that.
We're very excited. The LA Community College District, working with the mayor, with the city of Los Angeles, and also with the LA Unified School District, is embarked on this major initiative to assure that any LAUSD student who graduates from high school in 2017 will be permitted to have 1 full year of free tuition if the student enrolls in one of our 9 colleges in our district.
I have to say that's huge. It's
very
transformative.
Yes, it's a major initiative. Not only will the students benefit from the free tuition, they'll get priority registration, and they'll also get additional support to be able to hopefully be successful in their endeavors.
What I learned is that this school year, not next when the promise kicks in, 73% of LACCD students go part-time.
That's true.
Now, why is that? A variety of reasons, but a lot of it is they need money to pay for tuition.
That is true. Many of our students are working. They have many other responsibilities.
Right.
So what this program allows the student to do is get free tuition for 1 year, as long as the student maintains 12 units or more in both semesters during the first year and maintains a 2.0 or higher GPA.
And I'm sure that someone like you who works in student services can help the students along to make sure they meet those goals and needs and requirements. But in the final analysis, the Promise program, there's one in Long Beach, San Luis Obispo, San Diego. These really are ways to get these students into college. And once we can get them there,
exactly.
they're in good shape.
Exactly. We know that about 2/3 of all the students who graduate from LAUSD actually go on to college, but we think that's not enough. And I think our partners with LAUSD, certainly the mayor's office, agree that we need to enroll as many students as possible who graduate from LAUSD high schools to enroll at our community colleges.
Now, even though the Promise program will be in place for that 1 year, and even though for the second year it's pretty much a bargain, $46 a unit, higher than a few years ago, but cheapest in the nation, part of the challenge some of these students face, though, is the cost of textbooks.
Yes.
And so I'm wondering where, look, I salute you for launching the Promise, but textbooks is an issue. Where does the district go on that question?
For many students, textbooks are a hidden cost. Many of our students enroll and then they're surprised by the sticker shock associated with the books and supplies. So this is being discussed at this time as a potential area that will be covered with respect to cost by the Promise. It's under discussion. No commitment's been made at this point, but it's been acknowledged that this is a cost that needs to be addressed.
But Dr. Villa, I'm also wondering, could LACCD, 9 colleges, one of the biggest, if not the biggest in the nation, I know San Francisco City is the biggest single institution, but could you start to work with the publishers to move to digital, to decrease the, textbooks are expensive. Can we start to move to online?
Some of that's already been done. And many of our instructors in our district are engaged in working with open-end resources. In other words, there are publishers, open source. So they're already participating and doing what they already can to reduce the cost of books. So this has been going on. And then we have expanded on our online sections that we're offering to our students as well. So we know that cost is a factor. We know that is a factor in determining whether or not a student enrolls in one of our colleges. So we're working on that with regard to open source. But in addition to that, we think what we need to do is seriously consider covering the books and supplies for our incoming students.
You may be familiar with the Long Beach Promise.
I am.
And at the Long Beach Promise, it's LBUSD, Long Beach City College, and Cal State Long Beach.
It is.
They go all the way through to the 4-year institution. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm going to get ahead of myself.
Sure.
Can LACCD work with, I don't know, maybe Michigan can work with CSUN.
Yes.
Cal State Northridge. Maybe, I don't know, Trade Tech could work with Cal State LA.
Sure.
Or, you see where I'm going?
Sure. No, I think that this is the initial year of the promise, 2017. There's been some discussion about engaging formally with the CSU and expanding our connections with CSU.
And let me just be clear for our viewers, what the Long Beach Promise does, it's essentially a guaranteed admission. LBUSD, LBCC, and then Cal State Long Beach. And that's what I'm proposing possibly for LACCD.
Well, it's a guaranteed admission, assuming you meet the admissions
Of course,
requirements
yeah, no.
for CSULB. But certainly the students who attended Long Beach City College got priority for admission to CSULB.
Right.
So definitely, that is something that we will be looking at as a district to build those relationships with CSU to make that happen.
I want to speak with you about Mission and other colleges in LACCD. Mission, for example, is a Hispanic serving institution. And it's come to my attention that there are many Hispanic students that are nervous. They're scared and they're frustrated. They look at the new Trump administration and they look at the words of the candidate. And the words of the candidate were very specific as it related to what's known as deferred action. Deferred action, a program which allowed adults under the age of 30 that were brought here under the age of 15 from another country to become, I'll call it legalized, at least temporarily.
Right.
And the California community colleges have 61,000 of those DACA kids.
Right.
And President Trump indicated during the campaign he wants to revoke DACA. What's the mood at Mission and otherwise with regard to these DACA students?
I think in general, our DACA students are nervous. I think they're concerned, obviously. They sought this program, they're participating in it, they're benefiting from it by virtue of getting work permits.
Right. Which plays into the LA College Promise because
it does.
You're allowed to work now and that allows you to pay for textbooks.
Right. So there's a great concern going on at this point with regard to our DACA students or undocumented students in general. Our position is basically we're here to serve all students regardless of their background. So our position is to continue to serve these students within our district.
But what spooks a lot of the students, as I understand it, sir, is that when they signed up for DACA, former President Obama said, give us your information.
I know.
And now they have the information, and it's not, the statement that we won't use it to deport is not legally binding because it was an executive order. So now 740,000 DACA kids have been registered as undocumented.
And you nailed out the exact reason why they're nervous. This information is available, and I think they're very concerned that we were going to share it. But our position is, based on current policy, is to not share information. We're not in the business of participating in proceedings like this.
But at the same time, the president and or his staff have said, well, we'll look at funding. You know, you don't want to cooperate, we'll pull federal funding. President Johnson did it during the desegregation days. President Trump could do the same.
Sure.
Is that a risk to Mission and LACCD?
Sure, it could be a risk, but regardless of that risk, our position at this point is to support all students, and including our DACA students. So we're in a position to basically follow the law and do whatever we can to continue to serve the students without participating in any action that would harm them with regard to
DACA students participate in the LA College Promise?
Yes, they can. Yeah, as long as they meet the requirements for the promise. So those requirements are that they have to be a California resident, or they can be associated with the AB 540 program,
which is California Dream Act. His name is Dr. Christopher Villa. He is a vice president with LA Mission College, one of the 9 community colleges in the Los Angeles Community College District. My name is Brad Pomerance in the San Fernando Valley. You're watching Local Edition.